Coming up on this hour of Chris 6 Sunrise, Scripps News Group's Joe St. George is going to join us this morning. He has the very latest on the indictment of former FBI Director James Comey.
And here in your neighborhood, we'll check in with Sunrise Neighborhood News reporter Michaela Chavez. She's out at the Corpus Christi International Airport as folks get ready for tomorrow's Run the Runway 5K.
Dreams are coming true right here in Kingsville. I'm Stephanie Molina, and I'll show you how a group is helping people continue their education no matter what their circumstances are.
Good morning, folks. Happy Friday and welcome to Chris 6 Sunrise. You're waking up with the Hoffmans. I'm Michelle Hoffman.
And I'm Brian Hoffman. So happy that we made it to Friday. But we need to make sure that both the weather is good and that people are going to get to work safe on the last day before the weekend. Diamond Dixon joins us. How you doing, Diamond?
Good morning.
Hey, I'm doing good. You guys, how are y'all?
Doing great.
Man, the country came out, okay? We're better today. Got sleep, so we're all right. We're all right. But we're taking a look at traffic. It's still early. It's 6:01 this morning. And of course, when you're headed out in your 6 o'clock hour, that's where we really start to see our traffic picking up across our neighborhoods. But from Portland to the Harbor Bridge, we're still looking good this morning. No issues there. That's also the same for Ocean Drive as well as SPID and Saratoga. Now, we could take it on over. We had a minor slowdown along Waldron Road that's still there. That was in our 5 o'clock hour, towards the end of the 5 o'clock hour. So if you are headed towards Waldron Road, just be mindful of a slight dip in your commute. And Flower Bluff Drive also looking good, as well as the JFK Causeway. We'll take a look at your drive times also this morning. From downtown to the island at 22 minutes, and from Portland to downtown, approximately 8 minutes. And Cow Island to downtown, we're looking at approximately 15 minutes for your commute. So we'll continue to check in with traffic throughout the morning to see how it's looking for your commute. Hope you enjoy the rest of your Friday morning.
Thank you so much, Diamond. We're going to check back in with you in just a little bit. But first, for the first time in American history, a former FBI director has been indicted. That is James Comey. He's being charged with 2 counts, making a false statement and obstruction of a political proceeding. It comes just days after President Trump publicly said that U.S. Attorney General Pam Bondi should prosecute him and 2 other political adversaries.
Now, to talk more about this, we bring in our Deputy Political Director, Joe St. George. He's joining us live this morning. So, Joe, can you break down the charges Comey's facing and how he's responding to the charges?
Good morning, guys. Another morning in which we're talking about a historic indictment. As you noted, no former director of the FBI has ever been charged with federal crimes here. Mr. Comey faces up to 5 years in prison if he is convicted. The 2-page indictment dropped late yesterday essentially accuses Mr. Comey of lying to Congress, disrupting an official legislative proceeding. It followed, as you noted, an intense few days, and the context and nuance is important here. The President of the United States last weekend essentially encouraged the Attorney General of the United States, the Department of Justice, to take action on individuals like James Comey. It also comes just days after his former personal attorney, President Trump's former personal attorney, took over as the lead prosecutor in the Eastern District of Virginia, where this case is being prosecuted. And as the Washington Post reports, the previous U.S. attorney there declined to prosecute Comey over a lack of evidence. The nuance, the context is important here. As far as Mr. Comey, he took to Instagram shortly after his indictment. Take a listen.
My family and I have known for years that there are costs to standing up to Donald Trump. Somebody that I love dearly recently said that fear is the tool of a tyrant, and she's right. But I'm not afraid, and I hope you're not either. But I have great confidence in the federal judicial system, and I'm innocent. So let's have a trial.
So let's have a trial, Mr. Comey says. Now, as far as the White House goes, they are celebrating this, and many conservatives along the political right are celebrating this as well. Remember, there's no love lost between Comey and Trump. Trump fired Comey in 2017. President Trump said this is justice for America with this indictment of James Comey, the Attorney General of the United States, saying that no one is above the law. The current director of the FBI, Kash Patel, weighing in, saying that people for far too long have tarnished institutions like the FBI, a clear reference to James Comey. So one of those where depends on where you fall on the political spectrum. If you're celebrating this, if you're someone who thinks Comey deserves this, or many Democrats here on Capitol Hill this morning are saying this is a dark chapter in American history. We're expecting Mr. Comey to be arraigned formally for the first time on October 9th.
Joe, thank you so much for the information and your time today.
And we appreciate it, and we look forward to talking again very soon.
Yeah.
Well, welcome back there, Coastal Bend. We have a live look outside our CCAC camera. That's over at Snoopy's Pier. You can see a couple of cars moving on in the background. We have a little bit of overcast skies to start our Friday morning. But if you walk outside, you'll notice that we have less humidity in the forecast, and that's also due to our cold front from yesterday. And we have a north wind. It'll gradually pick up throughout the day, but not too much of those crazy winds. We're talking about 5 to 10 miles per hour. But looking at yesterday just a bit, we hit a high of 88 degrees. Now, you know, the average for this week is 89, so we were pretty close to what that average was, and that was all thanks to our showers, thunderstorms, and push of colder, drier air after the fact. But that record was back in 2011 at 103 degrees, so we will not be that warm, nor will our feel-like temperatures across our neighborhoods. So the past 10 hours, just at 8 o'clock, we were at 82 degrees, and now we're just around at 76. So we slightly have declined a little bit before we'll increase again, but nonetheless, it's a nice dip in temperature for us. Temperatures right now across your neighborhood, upper 70s along the coast, 79 at Port Aransas and the Naval Air Station, and 76 for here in Corpus Christi, 73 for Beeville, as well as Falfurrias and Hebronville at West Nicotula, more so 75. We usually expect those to be a little bit cooler once again land than closer than by the water, which usually holds on to that heat a little bit longer. So current winds, the more increased winds we see right now are 9 miles at Port Aransas, 7 for the Naval Air Station, and once again, pretty calm elsewhere for the most part. Those feel like temperatures today, once again, will be going just about to the low to mid 90s for our neighborhoods, between 12 and 6 today. So you can still expect our warmer period, but it just won't be as warm and it won't be as muggy. And well, looking at our dog walking forecast, there will be good times to walk your dog all throughout 8 to 12. We're still going to be well before we hit a 90-degree mark, from 74 to 87 degrees, still with a north and northeast wind. Once again, still generally light for the most part, under 10 miles per hour. So that will not hurt our furry friends' paw pads all throughout the day and even into the weekend. So if you're planning that or your walk, that's what you can look forward to. And once again, nice, sunny, clear skies for us in our forecast to wrap up our work week.
Go ahead and lace up those tennis shoes, because tomorrow Wings of Texas is inviting you, the community, to run the runway at the Corpus Christi International Airport. Coming up, I'll tell you how this extremely unique marathon experience is helping one local cause take flight.
Welcome back, everyone. 6:11 is your time, taking a live look from our SPID Skycam. Traffic picking up just a little bit. We're going to be checking in with meteorologist Diamond Dixon, take a look at the rest of the roadways, plus, of course, the weekend weather. But first, we're on to an event that's actually happening soon. Neighbors from around the Coastal Bend are getting ready for tomorrow's Run the Runway 5K and 1K Kids Fun Run. It takes place tomorrow over at the Corpus Christi International Airport.
And that's where we find Sunrise Neighborhood News reporter Michaela Chavez joining us live this morning. Good morning, Michaela. Thank you so much for waking up with us.
Yeah, good morning, you guys. So I am here at the Corpus Christi International Airport, and this area is normally used for takeoffs and landings, but tomorrow it's going to be filled with lots of runners. So joining me today, I have Lacey Guzman, Marketing Manager with the Corpus Christi International Airport, who's sharing why they're helping turn this area into a race course. So Lacey, this is not the first time you guys have been working with Wings of Texas for this event. Can you tell me how long you guys have been doing this and why does the airport participate?
Yeah, so Run the Runway, we actually started back in 2018. We've had several different beneficiaries since then, but last year, 2024, was our first year with Wings of Texas. We feel that it aligns really well because we really strive to make the airport an inclusive place for travelers. And so Wings of Texas' mission of making the Coastal Bend an inclusive place to work, play, and live really aligns with what we try to do at the airport.
Absolutely, and I heard that there's going to be about 900 runners are already signed up. More to come if you guys want to join. But how does the airport prepare for a race this big in an area like this that's not so typical?
Yeah, so as you can imagine, it's pretty difficult to close an entire runway down, but we take all of the safety measures required. So the Federal Aviation Administration actually does have to approve this event. So we submit that months in advance with a barricade plan, a safety plan. It's also all hands on deck for our staff. So every operations, maintenance, public safety staff is here Friday through Saturday to make sure that everybody is safe, the participants, but also the aircraft as well.
Thank you for that. And something a little bit more fun, you know, this is a very unique experience. What is it like year after year seeing these runners not run on a typical course? This is a runway. Maybe what are some of the things that you've heard from runners? Do they get to maybe see some cool behind the scenes planes while they're running?
Yeah, it's really cool. So we have static aircraft right here where we're standing. Tomorrow we'll have the most static aircraft we've ever had this year. So it only gets better every single year. And we do have two runways here at the airport. So the other runway is live. So you have planes taking off during the entire race. Also last year, you know, we had a flyover right when we were doing the Pledge of Allegiance.
How
so
cool.
You never know what you're gonna get.
Absolutely, I love that so much. And like you said, you never know what you're gonna get. We've already talked to the airport. Coming up, we're gonna be talking to the sponsor of the event.
Welcome back there, Coastal Bend. Meteorologist Emma Dixon here. Well, if you're running, it's going to be a good time because, hey, it feels good outside. It's going to continue to feel pretty good also through our weekend. Today, we're looking at a high of about 91 degrees here in Corpus Christi with those sunny and clear skies for us in the forecast. We won't have any neighborhoods exceeding or even going up to 100, so that's going to also be good news for us. We'll also get into what those feel like temperatures will be as well. But generally across our neighborhoods today, we're looking at mid to upper 80s and low 90s for our high. The average high for around this time is going to be about 89 degrees. So we're pretty close to it. Hour by hour, we jump into the 80s close to 10 a.m. this morning. And then upper 80s by 1 o'clock at 88 degrees, still with the north and northeast wind. Generally, what we're going to see, once again, the warmest part of the day is between 2 and 4, where we could see that 91 degree mark, or it could even happen closer to 4 and into 5 o'clock, back to about those low to mid 80s, closer to 7 o'clock tonight. We have this other frontal boundary that will reinforce, once again, the cooler, drier air that's in place for us, that also broke up our humidity for us as well, where we don't feel like it's sticky outside. So it's going to be some generally pleasant conditions today as well as into the weekend. Now, headed into next week, we'll see some of those temperatures go above normal, but until then, we're looking at Saturday and Sunday, it's slightly above normal. We're looking at 91, 92 degrees. And into next week, as we also enter a new month of October, we'll be also a little bit above normal, closer to that 94 degree mark. If we're looking at the next 6 to 10 days out, we're still technically likely warmer here in South Texas, and there's not many that would be considered cooler at this time, except for far more to the East Coast. But looking at the average high temperature, you know, for September, we talked about being around 90, 89 degrees. Closer into October, we'll get closer to that 85 degree mark. Will take a little second to get there. We'll need a couple more cold fronts to really reinforce that for us. But until then, you can enjoy those temperatures that will be right around 90 to 91 today, as well as through the weekend, before we take a slight warm up into next week. But once again, for now, that north wind will keep us a little bit cool today with those clear skies that are expected.
Want to hit the runway? Not that one, I'm talking about the airport. Coming up, I'll tell you why almost 1,000 runners are joining Wings of Texas right here for a race you won't forget. And I'll tell you how you can still join in on the fun. Too often we focus on what people can't do, but today and tomorrow we're celebrating what people can do. So joining me right now is Omar Lopez with AEP Texas. They are sponsoring Run the Runway, partnering with Wings of Texas and the Corpus Christi International Airport tomorrow. Omar, this is the second time you guys have sponsored this event. Why did you decide to come back? Why is it so important for AEP to get involved?
Well, good morning, and thanks for having us, and thank you for letting me share this story. Last year, our contribution to Wings of Texas, it was significant. However, this was the big miracle last year. Wings of Texas in this community, Corpus Christi, showed up. They took our contribution and they raised 6 times that amount of money in one day at this race.
That's amazing.
So for us, we just know that this community believes in Wings of Texas just like we do. You know, at AEP Texas, we like to say that we put the customer first. That's what we do every single day. And Wings of Texas does the same thing. Every single captain that crosses the finish line before that angel. And so we really believe in the mission of Wings of Texas. You know, we're from here, we're headquartered here, our crews live here, we work here, we play here, and we're going to run here tomorrow. We have close to 140 employees running tomorrow, and this is really significant for AEP Texas. We're really proud to be part of Wings of Texas. A lot of our employees have run with Wings of Texas before. I've run with Wings of Texas before. It's just a beautiful organization, and I think you'll see it in person tomorrow. So we want everyone to come out. We're going to have close to 1,000 runners, like you said, tomorrow, and this is really just incredible for AEP Texas and for Wings of Texas.
That's amazing. You guys are actively getting involved as well. And you know, I just started running. I have not ran a 5K before, almost there, but for people who maybe haven't ran something that's this long of a distance, what message do you want to share quickly to the community who just want to get involved and help out a good cause?
Well, first of all, we're going to get you running with Wings of Texas. We're going to get you behind a chair because it's an incredible experience. And I want the community to know that every runner tomorrow here is showing each one of these kids that no matter what special ability you have or what maybe what recognizable ability you may lack, that you can achieve anything. And these captains, they run marathons, they run half marathons, they do 5Ks, they do triathlons. It's incredible what the power of support and help can do. So that's just what we're hoping to do at AEP Texas. We want to make the future bright for every single person who lives in our community, and everyone counts. And so we're really excited that we're here again, and we're going to be here for the next 3 years with Wings of Texas. So I'm really excited to announce that we'll be the title sponsor for the next 3 years of this race. So we want it to get bigger and better every single year, and we're excited that tomorrow it's finally happening.
Beautiful. Partnering to make a legacy. You've heard it here. Thank you so much, Omar.
Sure.
Coming up, we'll be hearing from the founder of Wings of Texas herself.
Well, that all sounds real good, Michaela. Hey, well, it's 6:24 this morning. We have a view outside our USS Lexington Skycam. Now you can see some of those clouds started to break up already this morning. We can look at our local roadways to see how we're doing. That was just also overshot of that new Harbor Bridge from Portland to the Harbor Bridge. Still looking good this morning. Ocean Drive also looks to be a good commute, as well as SPID and Saratoga. Waldron Road still has that minor slowdown in place if you're headed towards Waldron Road. Flower Bluff Drive looks good, as well as the JFK Causeway. Here's a look at your drive times for this morning. And once again, we'll be back with more news and weather on the way.
Now, weather on the 6s.
Welcome back there again. It's 6:27 this morning. Overlooking our CCAC camera at Snoopy's Pier. Couple of, I almost said clouds moving in the distance. Couple of cars moving in the distance this morning. Well, traffic will start to pick up here pretty soon as well. We'll also be tracking that throughout the show. As far as our weather goes, well, we're looking at some better conditions for today. Mostly sunny and clear skies expected this afternoon. That's all because of our cold front that arrived yesterday morning that also brought showers and thunderstorms and the opportunity to cool us off just a bit here in South Texas. Not necessarily cold, but it will be a difference in temperatures that you'll be able to notice, as well as how it makes our skin feel too. Right now, those temperatures have a little bit of variation between 72 and about 79 degrees. 79 at the Naval Air Station, 76 for Corpus Christi and Ingleside, and 72 for Hebbronville right now at this moment. And we also see 75 in the mix for Mathis and Rockport. Those feel like temperatures are also pretty close to the actual air temperature. We see slight variation just right along our coast there. We can also take a look at Tempest to see how temperatures are looking in your neighborhood. We'll start with Beeville. Around 71 to 73 seems to be a general condition. That's not the word. A general consensus. And on the south side, we're looking at temperatures close to 76 to 78 degrees from Garden Court to Windwillow Drive and San Benito Drive, as well as Bent Trail Drive. So starting off our morning kind of in those low to mid 70s for a lot of our neighborhoods. That will gradually increase just throughout the day. Current winds also out of the north, around 7 miles there for Kingsville and the Naval Air Station, 9 for Port Aransas. Elsewhere, a little bit on the calmer end at this time. Those feel like temperatures this afternoon hit into the 90s closer to our noon hour, coming out of that closer to our 6 o'clock hour. So warmest part of your day you can expect around 2 o'clock, feeling like 94 degrees, but that's better than how we've been feeling for sure. And now we look at muggy meter. We have a couple of dips in the muggy meter closer to the drier air, but we did have drier air move through with our cold front yesterday just behind it. So we'll have a couple of days to enjoy that dip in humidity headed into our Sunday as well. You could also see on Moisture Tracker here that we're generally going to be a little bit drier here in South Texas, cooler and drier, less humidity in the forecast for us. So that's going to be nice for the air that you don't have to wear. Here's Bowie. Once again, if you're wanting to walk your dog this morning from 8 to 12, temperatures range from 74 to 87 degrees with a light north to northeast wind just under 10 miles per hour.
Diamond, thank you so much. Coming up on Sunrise, from the Moon Festival to Oktoberfest, we take a look at all the events happening around town in this week's Coastal Bend weekend.
Now, the local events and fun things to do. It's Coastal Bend Weekend with the Hoffmans.
Hey folks, are you in the market for some weekend plans? Well, you don't need a passport or a time machine to have a world of new experiences this weekend.
That's right. There are some events that will let you travel back in time or even jet set without even leaving your neighborhood. Let's start right here on the south side at V-Mart.
One of Asia's most cherished cultural traditions is lighting up Corpus Christi. V-Mart is hosting a moon festival, also known as the Mid-Autumn Festival, and you're invited to join the Celestial celebration.
It's a night filled with gratitude, community, and mooncakes that are out of this world. Try some sweet samples, get crafty with lantern-making workshops, enjoy featured films, live performances, local vendors, food trucks, and yes, giveaways that are over the moon.
The fun starts at 4 p.m. and lasts until 9 p.m.
Next stop on your cultural staycation, the Texas State Museum of Asian Cultures and Education Center is also celebrating the Mid-Autumn Festival this Saturday from 3 to 8 p.m.
One ticket, a whole wide world to explore. With cultural performances, live music, unique vendors, food trucks, and family-friendly activities. And when the sun goes down, the dance floor lights up. Stick around for an evening dance from 8 to 10 p.m.
Next up, we're hopping into Oktoberfest mode. Nueces Brewing Company is throwing a German-inspired bash this Saturday that's brewing with fun.
Expect beer, brats, Bavarian beats, and competitions that are worth the wait. We're talking stein holding, keg tossing, and a full lineup of entertainment that'll have you saying Prost in no time.
In Kingsville, things are really heating up. Coast Life Credit Union and the Focus Foundation are hosting their first Family Fun Fest Fest and Chili Cook-Off, and you're invited to stir the pot.
It's a fundraiser for Kingsville that puts the fun in fundraising. With free admission, free chili samples, free pony rides, games, a petting zoo, free parking, and even the music is free.
While families enjoy the festivities, Chili Cooks will be bringing the heat in a spicy competition for a $1,000 prize.
But the real winners, local educators, thanks to Focus grants funded by this event. The cook-off takes place this Saturday, September 27th from 1 to 5 p.m. at the JK Northway Expo Center. In Robstown, roar into adventure and get ready for a Dynamite weekend as Jurassic Quest takes over the Richard M. Borchard Regional Fairgrounds in Robstown.
Come face to face with life-size dinosaurs, take a walk on the wild side with walking dino rides, and dig into some fun at the fossil dig site.
Don't miss the interactive shows with a raptor trainee and baby dinos. It's all weekend long. Ticket prices vary and can be purchased online.
And hey folks, that is not all. There are a lot of things going on this weekend, some we didn't have time to mention. For a list though, you can go to our website, KrisTV.com.
And of course, if you want to see your event featured on a Coastal Bend Weekend segment, make sure you send us a message.
Welcome back there, Coastal Bend. Well, we're checking in for a quick weather look for today. We're expecting a high of around 91 degrees for here in Corpus Christi with sunny, clear skies across all of our neighborhoods, actually thanks to our cold front that moved through yesterday. That's bringing us those cooler, drier conditions. Now, we're not necessarily cold, but cooler than what we have been. Those highs today range from the 80s to low 90s, and our average high is just around 89 degrees. So we're going to be pretty close to that here in Corpus Christi. Once again, it feels very good outside. Not a lot of humidity in the works, but looking at our hourly planner, once again, we generally stay in the 80s today. We reached the 90-degree mark closer between 2 to 4 p.m. We'll also have a little bit of a wind shift throughout the day. We start off with that north wind, shift a little bit to the east, maybe even a southeast, but for the most part, our north wind will come back feeling pretty good there outside.
From Chris 6, this is 20 minutes of non-stop news.
Hey, welcome back, folks. Thank you so much for joining us for our 20 minutes of nonstop news with the Hoffmans. I'm Brian Hoffman.
And I'm Michelle Hoffman. We have plenty of neighborhood news for you this morning, but first, we always got to check in with meteorologist Diamond Dixon to look at the roadways this morning. Good morning, Diamond.
Hey.
Good morning, you guys. That's right, we're looking at traffic, weather, all the things. And usually around this time, we start to see some traffic picking up on our roadways because people are headed out the door to work. So we can see our SPID cam right here that traffic is moving smooth in both directions, but we're also seeing more cars out on the road as expected at 6:40 this morning. So looking at those local road maps here, I always say if we see green, that is good. From Portland to the Harbor Bridge, still looking very good at this hour. We usually don't see too much traffic there. From Ocean Drive, also looking good, and we also just saw SPID on our Skycam, so SPID is moving smooth in both directions. We could also say the same for Saratoga. And we move on over Waldron Road, still having that slowdown that's been there for maybe we'll say the past half hour there. Flower Bluff Drive also has a minor slowdown in its commute if you're headed that way, and the JFK Causeway is looking good and green this morning for your commute. Here's a look at your AM drive times, depending on where you're headed from downtown to the island. 22 minutes from Portland to downtown, just around 8 minutes. And from Cow Island to downtown, approximately 15 minutes. So all is in the green, so you're looking good. More news and weather on the way.
Thank you so much, Simon. Appreciate it. We're going to be checking back in with you in just a little bit. But first, and neighbors from around the Coastal Bend are getting ready for tomorrow's Run the Runway 5K and the 1K for the kiddos. It all takes place tomorrow over the Corpus Christi International Airport.
Yes, for a good cause, too. And that's where we find Sunrise Neighborhood News reporter Michaela Chavez joining us live this morning. Good morning, Michaela. Thanks for being with us.
Yeah, good morning, you guys. I am here at the Corpus Christi International Airport, and this runway, it's the perfect symbol because it's where planes take off. But for Wings of Texas, it's where dreams take off. And for every person who helps join in on this cause, they're just helping people achieve and explore, and you know what? Have their dreams soar higher than ever before. So I have here with me Michelle Jones, founder of Wings of Texas. Michelle, for people who might not know who you guys are just yet, can you tell us a little bit about y'all's nonprofit's mission?
We're a nonprofit organization, and our mission is to make Coastal Bend a more inclusive place to live, work, learn, and play. And the word inclusion is a powerful word, but it's also an action word. So it's not something that we just say, it's something that we show. We're here to show the Coastal Bend what inclusion is about.
Beautiful. And you know, it's a marathon, so where does this money raised go and how does it make a difference?
The money stays here local. It just helps us to provide more inclusive settings for our captains. We have bowling leagues, we do balls. We take our captains out of town to do marathons, half marathons, triathlons, and all of this is at no cost to the families. We don't want to put any extra burdens on them. So all this money stays local and helps us to provide these inclusive opportunities.
And you know what? Michelle is actually not only the founder of Wings of Texas, but you're a mom. You're Charlie's mom. And you've mentioned to me before, you know when your son just loves seeing the community, loves being involved. You can tell on his face and everything he does. But as a mom and the founder, what goes on in your mind whenever you see this overwhelming amount of community support? 900 runners are already signed up. More to come. Hopefully you can still join. How do you feel?
It just really warms my heart. The Coastal Bend has just been amazing to our organization. They've done so much in the last 11 years to welcome us. To have our captains, we have one of our captains, Reed, his first words weren't mom and dad, his first words were go faster. And just knowing that we have changed the lives of not only our captains, but we've changed the lives of their families. Their families now see that they can do so much more than what the doctors have said that they can do. And then our angels that come out and push. We've had countless stories from them on how this have changed their lives as well. And the way that they look at individuals with disabilities is different. And that's what's important is, if you can touch one person, if one person walks away tomorrow with a different outlook on individuals with disabilities, then we did our job.
That is beautiful. And you're doing your job. You can do your job as well, and you can still participate. Pack Up Pickup will be today from 10 a.m. to 6:30 p.m. at the Corpus Christi International Airport. Late registration will be available today during Packet Pickup, and the parking lot gate opens at 6:30 a.m. on Saturday. And it is highly recommended you show up by 7:15 to ensure that you have enough time before the race begins.
Welcome back there, Coastal Bend. Meteorologist Ivan Dixon here with a live look outside our CCAC camera over at Snoopy's Pier. We're starting to see more cars out on the roadways this morning. It's 6:45. We can also take a look at how your weather is going to impact you and what we're waking up to as far as temperatures and just overall conditions in your neighborhood. Well, we are generally a lot cooler this morning. Once again, it's similar conditions to what we typically see, but there's less humidity in the forecast, so it feels a lot better outside for us. We can take a look at those current conditions. All of us still sitting in the 70s at this hour, between 71 and 79 degrees. And also that north wind, as I mentioned, visibility looking a little bit better this morning, also impacted slightly there in Beeville. I hope that Alice is not at less than half a mile there of visibility, but looking at our temperatures and feels likes, they're pretty much on spot as we go further out from Corpus Christi and out further out west, but right along the coast we see a little temperature variation because water holds on to heat just a little bit longer than land. So we will see those numbers just have a slight difference in between. Current winds out of the north, pretty light right now, around 3 miles per hour here in Corpus Christi, 8 for Port Aransas and 7 for the Naval Air Station, also same for Kingsville. So we'll see those winds pick up a little bit today, but they generally stay between 5 to 10 miles. The warmest part of our day, we always talk about being between 2 to 4 p.m. You can expect to feel in the 90s between 12 and about 6 o'clock today. Now that's going to be a big improvement from what we normally see. but we should continue to see this as we go further throughout our fall season. You'll also notice a few dips in our muggy meter closer to the drier mark headed into the weekend. So we do have a couple of dips there, not so much in the oppressive range or very humid, not until next week when temperatures start to increase again. But for the most part, those dew points are taking a drop. You can also see that from our moisture future tracker that we're on the drier scale headed into the weekend for us, cooler, drier air. And that's what this is on our big weather picture, this additional boundary reinforcing the cooler, drier air for us, drying us out to those mostly clear and sunny skies that we're looking forward to. Hour by hour, we hang out in these 80s until we hit just around 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock. And once again, we can hit that low 90-degree mark between 2 and 4. And once again, those highs pretty close to near normal, taking an increase next week as we enter our new month of October. But we will also be likely warmer in the next 6 to 10 days as we get into October, since we do start off the month a little bit warm there. We'll be closer to seeing 85 on the map, but once again, we got to get there, and we also need a few more cold fronts to help us out. But as far as heat risk, no heat risk for the next few days. We look to have little to none to very minor across our neighborhoods. So we will take that improvement. Here's a look at your next 7 days here in the Coastal Bend.
A local program is making sure every person gets a chance to achieve their goals. I'm Stephanie Molina, your neighborhood news reporter in Kingsville, with a look at the Dream Come True Foundation, South Texas.
I actually started school in 2005, and at the time I had a 6-month-old daughter.
England Olivares Vela is a dream achiever, someone who is trying to overcome poverty through education and hard work. She has been in the Dream Come True Foundation South Texas organization for 6 months. She tells me she was unable to continue school back then, but now she's giving it another shot.
Because I've always wanted my bachelor's. I've always wanted to show my children that I could do it and just better myself.
The organization works towards uplifting their dream achievers through education, mentoring, financial assistance, and access to community partnership. Judy Colston, president of the foundation, says they are not just a scholarship program, they are an outreach.
They need a computer, if they need help with their rent, if they have a health issue. If their car breaks down, we can help them with that.
Vela was not able to receive financial aid because she was not a full-time student and was working at the same time, and was concerned about how she was going to pay for tuition.
How was I going to pay for books? How am I going to pay for parking? This foundation has really just helped me to be able to pay for those things that we take for granted sometimes.
According to the organization, $7,137 is the average amount spent per Dream Achiever per year. 88% of the students were employed within 6 months of graduation or are working on an advanced degree.
We want you to dream. We want you to have hope. We want you to know that where you are is not where you have to stay, that the trajectory can be greater, that you can accomplish more.
The program serves individuals who live in Clayburgh, Kennedy, Jim Wells, and Brooks counties. Currently, Vela is studying general studies and is thankful for the foundation's support.
This has always been a dream of mine to be able to go back to college, to get my bachelor's, and they're helping me do that.
The deadline to apply to become a Dream Achiever is October 1st. In Kingsville, I'm your neighborhood news reporter, Stephanie Molina, Chris 6 News.
Now, 6 things to know before you go.
Former FBI Director James Comey has been indicted by a grand jury in Alexandria, Virginia. Comey is being charged with 2 counts. That's making a false statement and obstruction of a political proceeding. This is the first time a former director of the FBI has ever been indicted in the history of the U.S. It comes just days after President Trump publicly said that U.S. Attorney General Pam Bondi should prosecute him and 2 other political adversaries. The charges stem from testimony Comey gave during a Senate Judiciary Committee hearing in 2020. Comey has always denied that he engaged in any wrongdoing.
Congressional Democrats say they'll keep pushing for a government funding resolution today. The new budget year is set to begin October 1st, but so far Democrats and Republicans have been unable to reach an agreement over federal funding, and that increases the likelihood of a government shutdown. Efforts to pass a short-term funding bill failed last week, and earlier this week, President Donald Trump canceled a meeting with top congressional Democrats about avoiding a shutdown. Democrats could hold a meeting of their own this afternoon to talk about their next move.
The White House is rolling out new tariffs on a wide range of products. President Trump announced a 50% tariff on imported kitchen cabinets, bathroom vanities, and related products. Upholstered furniture will now face a 30% tariff. Trump also imposed a 25% tariff on imported heavy trucks, citing concerns about foreign competition. There's also tariffs on pharmaceuticals. The new tariffs are set to take effect on October 1st.
A new massive tariff on some imported drugs will also take effect starting next month. On Thursday, President Donald Trump announced brand name or patented drugs will be subject to a 100% tariff. The tariff will not apply to drug makers who are building manufacturing plants in the United States. Trump is using tariffs as a way to pressure drug manufacturers to ramp up production in the U.S. and to strengthen the supply chain for essential medicines. The president did not mention levying tariffs on generic pharmaceutical imports.
The United States Postal Service says prices will not rise again at the beginning of next year. The Postal Service announced the price for market-dominant products, including first-class mail, will not increase this January. In addition, the price of a first-class stamp will hold where it is at 78 cents into early 2026. The Postmaster General says that there won't be price changes until mid-next year.
Cracker Barrel is going big today for National Pancake Day. The chain is offering customers all-you-can-eat pancakes for $5 at all of its 660 locations. And that's not the only offer from the griddle. Cracker Barrel is trying to bounce back from a slump earlier this year that was linked to the national uproar after the company made a logo change. Officials say that incident resulted in an 8% drop in visitors to its restaurants.
All right, folks, I am so excited about this one, right? You gotta check it out. Rick Moranis is ending his longtime break from live-action acting for a role in Spaceballs 2. It's the sci-fi parody sequel to the 1987 film directed and co-written by the legendary Mel Brooks. Moranis will return to his role as Lord Dark Helmet. Moranis took an extended break from acting after the 1991 death of his wife from cancer and has worked sparingly since then. In addition to Moranis and the 99-year-old Brooks, others in the cast of Spaceballs 2 include Bill Pullman, Daffy Zuga, and Josh Gad. It's scheduled to debut in theaters in 2027. So, little known fact, I was in something called HI, Humorous Interpretation, back in high school.
Oh.
I did a one-man monologue of the entire show, or the entire movie, rather, of Spaceballs 2, and it is great.
Did you get a prize?
I did, actually. I went to regionals, so yeah. Or Dark Helmet. I see your Schwartz is as big as mine. Let's see how you handle it.
I've never seen it, so.
Me either.
So great. And hopefully they make a joke too. They say, oh, hopefully we'll all see each other again in Spaceballs 2, The Search for More Money. Hopefully they actually call it that. It's so funny. It's so great.
He's kind of in his own universe over here.
I'm on an island. I'm on an island. Oh, director Davey loves it too. So hopefully you at home,
I'm glad that you two can bond through headset.
Well, anyway, what's not out of this world is the
in our
weekend
own
forecast,
atmosphere.
right?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. I like the handoff. Well, we do. We have a good look outside our CCC camera over at Snoopy's Pier. We're not quite at sunrise yet, but we're very close, about 15 minutes away from our actual sunrise of the day. Almost giving some cotton candy vibes, blue and pink hues, if you will. Or some may say gender reveal hues, whichever you like. It's 6:56 on your Friday morning. We started off our past 10 hours. We were also in the 70s, just before that in the low 80s, but now we're also right around the same area. We're looking at low to about mid-70s across our neighborhoods and upper 70s for some, getting into our warmest part of our day, breaking into the 80s here soon. At 75, 76 degrees here in Corpus Christi, 79 for the Naval Air Station and 78 for Port Aransas. Cooler places on the map are Beeville and Hebronville and San Diego at 72 degrees. Current winds also out of the north, pretty calm right now. They'll pick up later on this afternoon with our temperatures, but right now about 7 miles per hour here in Corpus Christi. Same for the Naval Air Station and 8 for Port Aransas. Those feel like temperatures take a slight increase into our warmest part of the day, usually between 12 and 6, but warmest part 2 to 4, feeling like 94, but that's still a break from what we've been feeling here throughout the coastal bend. Planning out your day a little bit there, sort of hourly. We stay in the 80s for a majority of our day, but between 2 to 4 we can see that afternoon high of 91 degrees here in Corpus Christi with mainly clear skies for us. With that muggy meter, we take a dip. That's good news because we'll be closer to drier conditions there because of our cold front once again of the season. We could look at that moisture tracker too and see once again dry conditions hanging out for us in the coastal bend. But planning out your next 7 days, once again, we're pretty close to near normal through Sunday. And once again, as we head on into next week, we could see once again those warmer conditions headed for us. But until then, we look pretty nice.
I like it. Makes for a great weekend. And folks, we're sending some positive vibes. We hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. We will see you Monday.
Bye.